What's up? What's up? What's up? Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Hit that light when you come in here. um, Now, this is a straight gems. Now, I haven't done one of these segments in quite some time. I didn't put straight gems on it, but for those of you that don't know what straight gems is, it's just dropping some knowledge on y'all in everyday life, so that y'all can be motivated, inspired, and equipped, and better prepared in this thing we call life, man. Now, what's been going on, man? As you've seen in the news, aside from the disasters that have taken place, plane crashes, all the stuff that's been going on, but uh, well, also, inflation, what I'm saying, food food shortages. We all knew that that stuff was going to take place. Some people were prepared for it. Some people weren't. Now, there are a lot of people, man, that are experiencing job loss. Okay, some of it on the low end when we talk about, your everyday workers like fast food, just convenience stores, um, wherever. There was a massive layoff. Well, there's been massive layoffs at various WalMarts. Um, but then on the high end, you have some people that and when we talk about federal jobs, that situation that's been going on, layoffs, people being termed and stuff. And listen, man, I'm gonna say this, man. Like when it comes to the word layoff, it's it's really just a nicer way of saying, you know, hey, we pretty much don't need your ass no more. Okay, it's a nice way of being fired, and nobody wants to be laid off, terminated, fired. It all falls in the same category. Hey, what's going on? We've we we are experiencing a lot of that because we have to look at the state of society right now. Um, there was a point in time when people were very adamant at working particular jobs. Okay, they would do anything that they could to fill a void at whatever position that they would take. Like a perfect example, you got a lot of guys, man, that they might have served time, in prison, and when they get out, they're willing to take anything that is given to them. You know, However, that mentality used to be with the majority of people in the United States because uh, a job a job was relatively easy to come by, especially when we talk about in the past. Now, not so much. And if you have a job right now, you want to do everything that you can to hold on to that job. Now, sometimes, man, companies, uh, unfortunately, are going to go through a merge. They're going to downsize, and also a lot of companies might be broke, but a lot of companies, especially big companies and big corporations, are not necessarily going to come out and admit, okay, hey, we're broke, we're going bankrupt, and all of this other stuff or whatever. We just don't have enough money, to pay you and stuff. And like I said, I'm not uh, an, a true expert in some of this stuff, but I'm going based off of experience too. But I do know a lot, and what I can tell you is that right now, if you have a job that you're doing right now, uh, here's the fortunate side. The fortunate side is that you do have a job, but the unfortunate thing is that now they want pretty much a yes man or a no man or a yes woman, yes, a yes woman and a no man, or I'm sorry about that, a yes man and a yes woman. That's what they want instead of a no man and a no woman. Like they want you to say yes to everything. Uh, I'll give you a perfect example. If they ask you to do something, a particular assignment, a task, or something like that, and they want you to stay late, they know that you have family. They know that you have obligations. They might even know that you have different, a situation that is really gonna hold you back in terms of somebody may be sick or something like that. You might have somebody in your house, like a kid or something that has a disability, and it's a necessity that you're there. The thing about it is that those companies, the cutthroat factor is that they don't care what you got going on, and they'll be like, okay, yes, we understand. Okay, yes, we understand. It's only so many times that they're going to be able to say that, especially in the case of you. If a company gets bought out or something like that, and then you have another company that comes in and plays by a whole nother set of rules. What's up with it? What's up with it, Angelo Bell? I see you in the building, man. Hope you all right. And it's funny that Angelo Bell, you come in here. It's just like the school system now. I've seen layoffs happen within the school system. I know some teachers. I know a guy that he was a coach and everything, and that in place, you know, within the school system too. But see, when you have another company that comes in and they're playing by a whole set of rules, um, they have their own thing. They don't care about that other company that was there. They don't care about the people. They don't care about the relationship that you might have had with that other company or anything. They're trying to get business taken care of. And you have to arm yourself and you have to prepare yourself. Now, I know some people are gonna be like, straight, that's easier said than done or whatever. What you need to be doing is always have a plan A through Z, and always keep your resume, updated, and always be checking to see what's out there in your particular field. And then also, if you're one dimensional, you need to go ahead and you need to start equipping yourself with other certifications, with other licenses, other degrees, this, that, and the third, and just learning as much as you can, because there might be a particular field where they don't they don't have any use for you anymore, and then you're gonna put in applications after application after application, and we know that the competition is very stiff, especially in the society now, because you also got to realize that it gets younger and younger, you know, and now also the unfortunate thing is you could be 30 years old, 35 years old, and have these degrees, certifications, qualifications, and everything. Guess what? The unfortunate thing is that they'll get that 18, 19, 20 years old. You know why? Before they get you, because of their know-how. Now they might not be as mature as you, but they'll get their know-how. Like especially if that younger person is more tech savvy than you, or in a case like such as like fast food or something like that, they might move faster than you, or they might see, okay, we could use him in management in the next couple of years, okay, because he's willing to do anything that we want him to do. If they find that that 19, 20-year old is mature enough to show up to work, get there on time and stuff, and take pride in what they're doing and stuff, they'll use that guy. Next thing you know, that 19, 20-year old is managing a whole store, and then probably even get to the point where they're running 2, 3 stores. I'm just giving you an example. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's fast food, and listen, I've seen it happen. But massive layoffs are happening in the U.S., man, and like I said, some of this, it might not apply to you. To some people, this might not apply to y'all. But I know a lot of people that uh, are struggling. They're having some people might be in relationships or marriages and stuff, and one partner, they fell on hard times or whatever, and they had to reach into their savings, all this other stuff, man, and it was a tumultuous time, and a lot of people they really get depressed, and they really get down on themselves. This is what I'm gonna tell you: if you happen to lose your job, and you happen to lose your steady flow of income, do this, okay? Do these things what I'm gonna tell you right now. First off, it's what I said a little bit earlier. Get into several different avenues of certification. You have to look at what the demographic of the United States is. Find the problem. Find the problem with what you see right now. Said they told me that I will not be back into somebody instead of trying. Yeah, I mean, and that's an unfortunate thing, Angela Bell. You know, you don't want to let you don't want to let your emotions get the best of you. But in a case like that, you're only human, and you felt strongly about the situation. Now, the good thing is that you weren't expelled. You know what I'm saying? You just got suspended. Now, the only messed up part about it is that it's still going to remain on your record. It's going to remain on your record. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only flip side to it. But at least you still have a job. There's a lot of people that, unfortunately, they've lost they've lost their position because of whatever may have transpired. But I'm with you 100% in that situation that you explained to me earlier. They were wrong. They were 100% wrong. So I back you 100%, Angelo, man. Like, that was messed up. But see, in a case like that, see, I'm gonna talk about another thing. See, in a lot of these, for instance, a lot of these warehouse jobs, a lot of that stuff goes on. Like, you see a lot of, physicality go on and stuff like that. You know, and when we talk about fighting and stuff like that. Matter of fact, you said they know I stand up. Well, yeah, you stand you won't fall for nothing either. You won't fall for anything. Yeah, so that's what's up. Yeah, you did the right thing, man. Now, of course, you're gonna have people out, naysayers and stuff like that. Oh, he should have kept his professionalism and stuff like that. And I don't like people like that, man, that sit there and say that type of stuff, because you won't know anything until you're in that person's shoes. A lot of people, they take um, like you making fun of the disabled, the elderly, the handicapped. They take that serious, man. They take that pretty serious to the. I'm gonna just say they take it serious. I'm gonna just leave it at that. But in like a lot of these warehouse jobs, you see a lot of that go on. Like, you'll see people that are working. They've been working at their job for quite some time. Like, for instance, like, at an Amazon, you would think out on the surface, like, Amazon is such a great place to work and everything. But a lot of people would tell you that it's no joke. It's real demanding, and a lot of people didn't expect it to be what it was when they started working there. And it can also be taxing. And that's another thing too. Um, at these jobs, I know it's probably gonna sound like, okay, what is it? Keep your job one on one. Well, yeah, because a lot of these jobs will overwork you to the point where you can't enjoy your life. You're already stressed out at home. Okay, you might be stressed out at home. You might be going through just the life situation at home. You're barely getting any rest because you're stressed, and then you got to think about paying the bills and all that other stuff. But these jobs that you go to, are you going to serve their customers? Are you going to get their product? Are you going to hit those numbers? Are you going to hit that quota? You know, they want to know that, and if you don't do it or whatever, and you're not doing it as efficient as a robot per se. Well, guess what? They have no problem getting rid of you. That's one of the reasons why, like, there's a lot of robot talk and AI talk and stuff, because a lot of these people that come into these jobs and stuff, they'll come in there and they'll try to replace the human with robots, because it's like, well, why are we using these humans, man, when we could use a robot? They could get it done quicker, efficient. A robot's not going to complain. A robot's not going to get tired. Now, the battery may run out, or electrical problems or something like that. But other than that, they get stuff done for us. So a lot of people, that's why, like, you see Now you go to the banks. You don't see a lot. You see a lot of tellers more than you see the actual banker there. When back in the days, it used to be opposite. Now, if you go to I'm trying to think like let's say you go to a Chase Bank or something like that, you maybe have like maybe one, maybe two people there to help you. Other than that, everything else is on the computer. Bruce Gas, boxing. I see you in the building, man. How you doing, bro? That's a real reality. Yeah, everything is animated. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, some people, this may not apply to them. Okay, like, and that's what I was saying too. If you're not cut out for a job, I can understand that because there are some people that want to be self-sufficient, work for themselves. They don't want to work for anybody, But unfortunately, we have people out here that do have family. They got to do whatever is necessary um, to hustle, be on their grind, and to make ends meet. Like we can't say that to the single mom that's got like two, three kids or whatnot, and because the father walked out and everything, you know she she's left stuck with the kids, and she's got to do whatever is necessary to take care of the kids. You said try dealing with customer service over the phone. Yeah, yeah, and you see, that's another thing too. Like, okay, you'll get into a job, like for instance, okay, all the telemarketing jobs and stuff like that. A lot of them went overseas and stuff because a lot of those overseas jobs were willing to work for way less than what we do here in the U.S. And they do a better job than a lot of these people in the U.S. We got to be honest, man. And I know some people get upset when I say this, but like a lot of Americans, man, they don't take their job serious. They don't take their position serious. They don't do any of that stuff serious. That's why, like, and I know when the migrants were here and stuff, and you know when immigrants here that didn't have the papers and stuff like that, they would come over here and they would work circles around some of the Americans. Now, I'm not saying that like I said, man, when it comes to the whole immigration thing, it's kind of a touchy subject with me. But I'm gonna say this, man: as long as you're not bothering nobody, and those guys come over here and they work, do what they do, and they do a good job or whatever, because a lot of them are gonna have their fun, they're gonna party, do whatever's necessary. But I guarantee you, they'll work the jobs that a lot of us will not be able to do. Like for instance, it's over here. It's like 29 degrees. I guarantee you, there is maybe a handful of guys, man, that would be willing to get out here, even though that it's 29 degrees out here, and get out here and work. You're not gonna find it, but you find that one that's not from necessarily from this country, that needs a job, that has a family, that has to provide. I guarantee you they'll go ahead and find them. And see, that's another thing too. You got to be willing to do what the others won't do. That's another thing too. When you're working, and they're gonna ask you a whole bunch of questions. They're gonna ask you, can you do this or can you do that or something like that. Always put, if you're available, just go ahead and do it. Don't say, okay, yeah, you know what, I can't work on Saturdays because of this or that. Now, it's good to be upfront and honest and tell them that and stuff like that, but they already got in the back of their mind, them, like, and this is, I'm telling you, this is an unfortunate thing, but they'll tell, in the back of their mind, they want you to write, like, okay, when it comes to your availability, they want you to be available 7 days a week. That's what they love to see that. But if you say like, hey, it could be something. Now, if it's religious, they'll understand with T. But even now, they're starting to be so cutthroat because they're like, nah, we don't care about what your religion is or anything like that. And that's an unfortunate thing. Now, in the back of their mind, they're thinking like, oh wow, man, Bruce. Oh my God, nah, he ain't. He wants 2 days off. We can't use that guy. We need a guy that's gonna be available for us 7 days a week. How are we gonna get our product moving? How are we gonna get our customer served? So that's another thing. Make sure your availability is is super tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, be like, look, some days I'm off, but I'm willing to come in, blase, blase, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just to, explain to them. Um, Another thing is, man, when you lose your job, man, don't get depressed. Maneuver. Don't panic. That's the worst thing you can do is panic. Don't panic. Don't stress about it. Don't get depressed or none of that stuff because you're gonna lose fight. I mean, you're gonna lose sight of what the task is at hand. What's up with it, Alex? You're gonna lose sight of what needs to be done. No, maneuver. If you lose a job, if they call you into that office or whatever, you should already have at least 5 places in your mind to where, okay, I'm gonna call and I'm gonna check those places and whatnot. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I know this is gonna sound insane. Okay, it's probably gonna sound insane. But if you don't have a job, if you don't have a job and you're not working, at minimum you should be putting in at least 50 to 100 applications. At minimum each day. Find a job. That's how you got to make it. Like you should be on the grind. Like man, I know a dude, man. He lost his job, man. He was putting in at least. What's up, Daniel? I see you in here, man. Daniel Sports. You said for some, your job is your identity. Yeah, yeah. Your job is your identity. That's a good point, Bruce. Yeah, your job is your identity. But this is what I was gonna say. I knew a guy, man. He lost his job. This guy was putting in at least 300 applications. At least that's what he was telling me. He put in at least 300 applications. Of course, it was online and stuff like that. But or sending off resumes, stuff like that. And I remember he said this. I said, man, did you find a job? He said, right now my job is finding a job, and that is so true. Listen, as soon as they tell you, hey, your services are no longer needed here, or we're gonna have to let you go, or all this other stuff, it's gonna be demoralizing. In your mind, you're gonna be like, man, like you gonna want to go off and everything. Nah, take that anger out on finding a job, on finding putting in the applications and stuff, because it might have been a blessing in disguise. And then on top of that, you also got to look at it like this too. That's why it's important for you to have a certification, have a license, some sort of license or something like that. Because if you have a certification or a license, um, where you could be placed or something like that, if you happen to lose a job, guess what? You'll be able to find, more often than none, you'll be able to find a um, a job really quick, just for whatever license that you may have obtained. Um, if another thing is don't get into, oh yeah, it's time to chill, it's time to party, and none of that other stuff. Nah, because a lot of these, there might be a company, they're gonna be asking you. Then some of them may ask you, some of them may not ask you. Okay, what have you been doing? What have you been doing since you've been unemployed or whatever? And they can tell right off the bat if you're sincere or not in your answer, if you've actually been looking for a job, or if you actually, doing everything that you can to, get in a particular position or whatnot. They can tell right off the bat. Now, if not, they're just going to nod their head and everything, and pretty much a lot of these places that interview you too. Believe it or not, when you when you walk in, they already got their mind made up in the back of their mind, but it's just up to you to kind of persuade them, depending on what your answers are, depending on what you wow them with. Some of them, they won't come out and say this, but they'll be like, at first I didn't know about this guy or this woman, but then she was able to say something to me in that interview that would allow me to bring her back for a second, and then a third interview or something. All right, Bruce, holla at you, man. But that's what you're supposed to do, man. You gotta listen. A lot of these people, man, they don't care about what that person has going on. They don't care about the fact that guy that they just got rid of, whatever. His he's the only source of income in the house. They don't care about that. They don't care about the fact that, hey, he's the sole provider. He's the one doing everything. He's the one that's bringing home the bacon, so to speak. They don't care about any of that, man. And that's what you have to arm. You have to arm yourself, and you have to equip yourself with. A lot of people are not going to. Um, they're not going to sit up there and, so to speak. Yes, we know what's going on. We know the state of the United States. We know everything that's going on, but they still don't care about that because these people got businesses to run. They got a corporation that they gotta, that they have to keep up with and everything. They got customers that they have to serve. It's business as usual, and if you're not gonna do it, somebody else is. But don't get down and depressed on yourself if you don't find a job, man. I mean, it's not really it's not as hard as you think. They wanted to make it to where, oh man, you'll never find a job again, or this was the only job that you could find. Because that's not the truth, man. That's not the truth. And the worst thing that you could do in that situation is panic. What you want to do? is just go ahead, pound that pavement, man. Put as many resumes as you can in there, and then call them, and also keep showing your face, keep showing up, keep showing that that you want it. Or if you can't see them, face to face, because you still got some people out there that um, where it's not online or whatever. You go in there and stuff like that. But 9 times out of 10, man, these places they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, well you're gonna have to go online, or you're gonna have to go online, or you got to go online. No problem, go online. That's it. It is what it is. That's the society that we live in. We're not in paper applications anymore. None of that other stuff. And then this is another thing too. Some of y'all, some of y'all are saying, oh well, I'm not gonna work that particular job. I'm not gonna work that particular job. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take what is given to you, man. Take what is given to you, because we know this is for a greater cause. This is for the greater good later on. This is just gonna be temporary. Some of you may not want to work in a fast food job. Some of y'all may not want to work in a warehouse job. But it's just something. It's just something for you to do at the time being. At least you staying busy. At least you got a steady income coming in. You know what your plan is. You know what your situation is. Nobody's not gonna know your situation unless you tell them. And even then, you shouldn't really be at the job. That's another thing, man. When you're at these places, do not say anything to your coworkers, man. Keep your mouth shut. Just go to work, pound the pavement. Don't say nothing. Have tunnel vision, because that's when a lot of stuff starts happening. Because you got a lot of snakes in the grass, man, over there at your job. And sometimes you'll wonder, man, how did I how did I lose this job, or how am I not working and stuff like that? You got to think about the people that you've been talking to. You got to think about the people that you've been talking to. You said that, I know. I started working for the school system. I left, so I kept calling and going up there, and they tried me and gave me a job that next week. Yeah, hey, yeah, hey, look, man. Sometimes it's just how aggressive you are. It's who wants it the most, and also, of course, it's who you know too. And when I say who you know, it's not always like, okay, yeah, somebody's sliding you in there and all that. Of course, that goes on and stuff like that. But who you know is like, okay, they'll be like, you know what, Angelo Bell, man, he's always coming up there, man. This guy Angelo Bell, it might have been a supervisor, or one of the leads up there. That they're at dinner and stuff like that, and they were thinking about the fact that you were coming up there, or whatever, and they was like, you know what, let's give him a shot and everything. He might have been, just the fact that you coming up there, or whatever, you might have inspired that guy, because a lot of people, they not gonna come out and admit it. They might have fell on hard times in their life. They might have been on drugs. They might have been on fell into depression, or whatever the case is, been in a bad financial situation or whatever. But they're not going to tell you that, you know what I'm saying? Because behind them being dressed up in the suit and the tie, or the nice clothing or whatever, or the office that they have and stuff like that, you won't see any of that. The only thing you see is, okay, you see, yeah, they've been successful, they got this, they have that, and everything. But at the same time, they're not going to tell you what they've been through. They're not going to tell you what they've been through. They're not going to talk to you about more often than none. They're not going to go through the sketchy past with you. But the fact that they see, you doing that, Angela Bell, they saw that and they were like, you know what? Yeah, we got to give this guy a shot. He's working his tail off. He's busting his ass to get up here, so he would be able to bust his ass getting to these students, being there for them. That's what they see. You said I've been. Oh yeah, 10 years, man. That's a long time. That's a decade, man. That's good, man. 10 years in. Yeah, you want to go for a place they got a pension. I know they got a pension. And see, sometimes it's not all about the money neither. Listen, some people gonna trip out when I say that it's not all about the money. But let me elaborate on that. Now, for some of you that are like, in your 20s or something like that, this wouldn't apply to you so much. But I mean, it would be a good thing to listen to it. But I'm talking about from people that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and stuff like that. You want to look for a place that got great benefits and particularly a pension because you want to get I know y'all see all these advertisements and stuff like that. Get your retirement on track and stuff like that. That's the truth, man. You want to get your retirement on track because we don't think about the end game. Not just about us transitioning and leaving this earth, but I'm talking about leaving good, like living good once you finish working or whatever. I mean, look, man. I know that there's people out there, that be at Walmart working that are in their 60s and 70s and stuff like that. But I feel bad for people like that are working at that age or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people might want to do it just because it gives them something to do. But at that stage of life, a lot of us don't teach each other to be like, hey, you're supposed to be doing this or you're supposed to be doing that. Nah, uh-uh. You gotta have people around you to tell you, hey, after so many years or something like that, you were supposed to be um at this level or at that level, so to speak. So, um, I hope that this video was very informative. I gotta roll out. Make sure y'all hit that like. Sub to the channel too. Straight to the point. I get at y'all later.